My upbringing, I was a lot by myself, raised by a single parent family, and it was like I basically grew up on my own. And once I got to Schoolcraft, I realized I needed to have great time management skills, and I just really needed to find out what I wanted to do in my life. And during that time, I volunteered at Livonia Stevenson to coach high school basketball, and right away I knew that this is what I wanted to get into. I wasn't quite good enough to play at this level, obviously, so I just dedicated my whole life to one focus, and that was helping other kids come up and play basketball. One thing also that I realized growing up is, like, at first I always thought all these other kids had more privileges, more opportunities, 2 parents, they got better grades, they had a nicer computer, you know, all the amenities that maybe I didn't have or I wasn't afforded. But as I went through the ranks and kind of like elevated from Schoolcraft to Michigan State, you put yourself around more and more people and you realize everyone's just like you. Whether they went to Cranbrook Country Day, the local public school, whatever it is, but it's up to you, right, to dedicate yourself into whatever your desires and passions are, and don't let anyone else tell you that you can't make it or it's not going to happen. And also don't put deadlines on it like I've got to be a head coach by 25. If your dream is to coach, however long it takes, just keep chasing that path. What my path was could be different from you. That doesn't make your path right or wrong. We all have our own path. We're all individuals. We're all unique, okay? So don't get caught up in like, oh, Jimmy's already there. He's 30. He's already this, and this. No, my life isn't Jimmy's. Jimmy's isn't mine. I'm just taking my own path, okay? Any questions with anything? You know, my favorite memory, I don't know what the workout facility is now, but I just would work out like every day. I would go in that little weight room and then I would play racquetball. And I would just say, like, being on your own and not having to go to all the classes that necessarily you're not interested in and just doing exactly what you want to do, that was fun. I met a lot of nice people there. There was a lot of very good faculty. The AD was great. My math teacher was great. The quality of education, especially for those core classes, is just as good as what you're going to get at Michigan State and these other schools. Now, after that, I do think it's more important to get the best possible educator, teacher, professor that you can find. But initially, at that beginner level, all those classes are the exact same. Yes? I've been an assistant coach for 6 years in the NBA now. I started in the NBA way back in 2001 as an intern with the Detroit Pistons, and then just slowly moved up through the ranks as unpaid intern for 3 years, basically volunteering, and then starting off at every level, video, scout, then coach. Yes?
Favorite class at Schoolcraft?
Oh man, I had a really, really good physics teacher. I forget his name. He was a little quirky, but he was really cool. My math teacher was also the girls basketball coach. He was really good. I had a poli-sci class from this really, really left-wing liberal guy who always made you think. My favorite class? I'd probably say I always took all my math classes there. It was the math teacher I had. Because what he did is he understood that, like, where you were in your journey, and he treated everybody as an individual. So he was really good. Anyone else? Any questions? Yes, you again. Oh yeah, I love working. It's not work for me. It's really, it's a joy. I mean, I watch video all day. I work out the players, and then we're talking basketball all day. It's something I don't have to have an alarm for. I wake up. When I go to bed, I'll be thinking about this loss. You know, it's just something that keeps you up at night, and you don't need an alarm clock to wake you up in the morning. I'm very fortunate to have found my passion. That's another thing I'll say is you might not always know what you want to do, but at least dig into something while you're trying to figure it out. I feel like sometimes we have this list, oh, I would like to do this. But with 5 things, what's going to happen is you're probably not going to be able to accomplish any one. So really dig into one as your primary focus, 90% of your efforts. You can still dabble a little bit in the other 10, but don't let that overwhelm your core 90% of what you want to become. Anything else? Yes, you, sir. Well, what I did, I went to Schoolcraft, and I also took a couple classes at Wayne State. And what they had you do is they had you list everything that you were possibly interested in, and then take a semester and take a course in whatever your interest is. Whether it's theater, whether it's marketing, whether it's, I don't know, some type of engineering, whatever it is. And then when you do that, also try to volunteer in some capacity, whether it's coaching your local high school team, whether it's interviewing a current engineer at Ford, whatever it is, really immerse yourself in all those things. Then write down all your thoughts, right, in a huge list and what you like the most. Then what could you see yourself dedicating all your time every day towards? And for me, that was obviously coaching, but for you, it could be, you know, you want to become a doctor or whatever it is. So I would say while you're still trying to figure it out, list it and really like seek counsel, ask around, talk to people. So you're a coach. What is it like? What's the life of a coach? You know, how many hours do you work? Do you ever see your family? You know, because you want to get a full picture. What happens a lot of times is you think, I'm just interested in teaching. So you go to school for 4 years, you get a degree in teaching, and then as soon as you start teaching, guess what? Oh, I don't really like it that much. And now you feel like those last 4 years were a waste, but they're not. You still learn valuable knowledge. You just got to redirect. You got to change your course, find the thing that you're going to dedicate your life towards. And I would say volunteer on the way. Yes. So we have 7 assistant coaches. 4 of them prepare for upcoming opponents, and then the other 3 really focus on player development. I came up through the ranks of opponent scouting, so my main focus is getting ready for Atlanta. That's my team. So that's probably 70% of what I do. Another 20% is work with players. I really like working them out one-on-one, not just at their games, but also like the mental approach and their performance to the game, how they deal with slumps, how they deal with success, those types of things. Yep. Yes, sir. Yeah. We coach every day. During the season, we work every day. There's no days off. You might not go in on Christmas, but you're watching film the night of Christmas. The pace of our schedule, we play almost 3.5 games every week, and you're always preparing. We have to watch the last 5 games of an opponent before we play them, just to get a full snapshot of what they do. Coach has always got us doing reports, really just studying as much as we can so our team can be prepared when they get on the floor. Yes.
Does the name Bryce Lockwood ring a bell?
Yes.
That's who you had for physics.
Yes.
Yeah. He was legally blind. You know, his glasses.
He did have big glasses.
Yeah, like in each stick.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't know why everyone asks like favorites and stuff like that. I'll go back to when I was growing up. I loved Dennis Rodman before he had an interesting wardrobe. But no, he was just great. I thought he embodied everything Detroit was. Super hard hustle. Like didn't care who got the accolades. Just brought it every night. You know, when he won the award for Sixth Man, he cried. Like very emotional. That's just how I was. Yes, ma'am. Oh, my favorite part of coaching, I would say onefold, when you're working with players and you're really working on a move or something he's struggling with, and when he finally gets it and applies it on the court, that's a really cool feeling. And then I love strategy, so like getting ready to prepare for an opponent where you feel like you came up with the correct game plan to stop that team, like the mental aspect of the chess. You know, how can we outsmart the coaches? What are the coaches thinking? What adjustments do we need to make? Because honestly, like, coach is amazing. He's got it down to a science. He can break down so much information and feed it to the players where it doesn't seem like a lot. They don't seem overwhelmed. A lot of other places, they only give you, an appetizer of what the other team is doing. He's giving you a 3-course meal, and it's like a daily coaching clinic with Coach Van Gundy. It's unbelievable. Yes. Oh man, so game days are long. I'll work at least 15 hours on game days, but you have to remember part of that is like going on the court and just doing a walkthrough or working out a player. So it's not like you're just grinding for 15 hours, but you are up and you have to be alert and you do have to be coaching the guys. So we started today, well not today actually because of the snowstorm, but typically at 6 a.m. and then we meet after the game and we're probably done here at 9:30. 9:30. Yes, sir. Oh, it was easy. He came with open arms. There was no reservations about coming to Detroit. He was excited. I think he was shocked at first, and then he was excited. Our players have all played against him, so they realize how talented he is, and they kind of they got it. They're like, we got somebody pretty special. Excuse me. And then they embraced him, and he met it evenly. It's taken a while to get used to. What I always tell them, it's the same temperature in this gym as it is in the LA Staples Center. So that doesn't matter. It's just to and from here, right? So, anything else? Yes. So team bonding it's kind of a hard thing during the season because there's so many games, right? And our main job, we're judged on the results and wins and losses. Team bonding does help, but a lot of times we're with these guys every day. So it's like, am I going to be with you all day and going to take you out to dinner later that night? Sometimes it's too much. They need their own space. We try to do a lot of the team bonding with the coaches before the season and after the season. And then during the season, we promote road trips where we eat after a game. Well, Andy Loomis is one of our player services guys. He'll set up a dinner. Say we're in New Orleans. He'll reserve the whole restaurant, and then we'll bring everybody back, coaches, players, trainers, the PR people, Blaha, everybody will be there. And then you just try to talk to them. The players do a good job. They try to set their phones aside and really try to interact with each other at that time. But it's not as much as you would think, like with the college team where we have nightly dinner and daily dinner. It's more like hunt and peck, here and there, touch a guy, talk to a guy, see how he's doing. We don't have these formal meetings. So I wish there was more of it because I do think it could be very helpful. But some guys don't want to be friends with me. I'm not that exciting either. Yes, sir.
We're going to take a group photo. So he's going to stand in front of you guys. We'll take a group photo. We can take one more question. One last question, anybody?
How about you? You haven't had one yet. Not anymore. So people ask me that all the time. Growing up, I watched all sports. And then as soon as you get to this level, as intense as we do, I don't watch any TV. Unless it's something like my kids are watching Odd Squad or whatever. We don't watch any TV. And if I went home and watched a basketball game, I think I'd be divorced. So I can't do that either with my wife.